any spa music on them.
Awesome. So I'm going to say hi again. Welcome. Fancy meeting you all here. It is a phenomenal day. I'm so enjoying this day. It's amazing. We are now talking about the WLA. Where are we? It's lunch. I don't even know what time it is. Who cares what the time is? But this session is about the WLA and what we get up to and why we get up to it and why we're passionate about women and helping women. And I have got three amazing women with me who have been in the WLA for different amounts of times and different reasons, and they're going to give you warts and all about what's going on and what we get up to. But before any of that, I want to hear, as we are, about people's experiences of coaching. So who on the call has had a coaching session already? And who's willing to say what it's been like? Because we are loving the feedback we've got so far. Oh, God.
I had a coaching session this morning, Sandra.
Go on, Charlotte, you first.
Yeah, so I started this morning 8 a.m. with a wonderful lady with pink and purple hair from Sweden. A real goddess, and yeah, it was great actually. She was very straight to the point and direct, which is actually what I need. So so really appreciated that today and not stop thinking about it.
Love it, love it, love it. It's great, isn't it? Just when you get that opportunity to be really heard, and it can make such a big difference. Good, thank you. Vicky, I think I saw your hand go up.
Well, I thought no one else was going to. I was going to offer. But yeah, I had my coachathon session this morning, and it was really nice. It's nice to speak to somebody different that you don't come across, and you know, I'd kind of got something in mind I wanted to talk about, and I suppose a perspective from somebody who's not in the mix and hasn't already got some biases, and asked me some good questions. You know, got me thinking about a few different things. So and interestingly, because I got that booked in, it pushed me to do a piece of work I've been meaning to do for a while, because I wanted to actually talk about this piece of work. So yeah, got me focused.
It's brilliant, isn't it? I think if you're on the we did the coaching session at 10 o'clock this morning, and it was so interesting to hear, you know, how so differently you have to show up as a coach and work with where the client's at, and each of us coaches have different approaches and different styles, and just the sheer power and transformation. And I know Anne's joined us, and Anne was a corporate dude, weren't you, Anne? And you switched into the setting yourself up as a coach, haven't you? Because you've experienced it, and you are another amazing coach. So
yeah, so I've done a couple of sessions this morning, and I've got a couple more to do this afternoon and one this evening. So yeah, enjoying the day and all the energy it brings. But yeah, I did make the transition from the corporate world of the NHS to personal performance coaching, and career coaching is my area. So I've been doing that since May of this year, but really enjoying it, really enjoying it. And I've also had a session myself as a coachee as part of this coachathon. So that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. And I deliberately chose a coach in another country because I thought it was an opportunity to have that experience. So I've really enjoyed that session. And yeah, energy.
And actually, isn't that, I love that. I really love that you did that, because and what we're wanting to do is just keep hearing the stories about the power of coaching, because it not obviously there's just so many aspects of what we're doing today. The fundamental bit is we're raising money for microloan, and we've raised loads of money so far, and we hope to raise even more. So that's like number one. And if you heard the session just then, really inspiring, with Marlon and Geeta talking about what microloan get up to. And there's a couple more sessions, and I can't wait for the 4 o'clock when we hear the loan officer on the ground in the village telling us. I know that's going to be amazing. So that's awesome. But then we've got our coaches who are giving their time, because we just love doing this kind of thing, and we've got the clients who are getting an amazing result. So it's just mind blows. It really does. So we're going to change tack a little bit. Oh, by the way, if you want to just tell us where you're from, which country or city you're in, it's always lovely to see who's on the call and where you are, so we can share that in the chat. And then what I'd like to do is welcome our three panelists. and ask them to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do. And we're going to focus this next 20 minutes or so on the WLA and what the WLA is and how we operate, and take any questions you might want to know. So, but first of all, we'll go alphabetically. She says, trying to work out. I know that Charlotte's first. I was just trying to, does M come before P? So Charlotte, would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and how long you've been in the WLA? That would be a good place to start.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, so Charlotte Dean, and I work in Corn Foods, which is a great business, absolutely vital right now in terms of providing food that's healthier for you and for the planet. So really on trend, really right. And what I do in Corn Foods is responsible for our manufacturing partnerships. So outsourced manufacturing, so those relationships, contracts, new product development, everything that's encompassed in that, which was great, and work with a really good team over at Quorn. And I've been part of the WLA for, I think, coming up to 2 years actually. It was the Coachathon 2 years ago, which I didn't do any coaching. I just dropped into one of the live sessions to hear someone speak, and just found out about it, and then just was intrigued to find out more, and then joined up and started to come along to the sessions, which has been great. And
we love WLA, Charlotte. You're so much energy, and you're very young in what you do, aren't you? And in terms of the environment you are, and you've just got an amazing future ahead of you. We love having you. Mel.
Thank you. So I'm a customer-focused operations leader who absolutely loves a commercial spreadsheet and balancing books. But what I'm really passionate about is building brilliant working relationships and environments that allow others to thrive and delivers positive business change. That's what I like to do. I've just finished a project at Amy where I was steadying the ship for their customer services teams and helping them set up a real strategic change program with a now to wow transformation on it. And I also, the proudest bit of Amy was probably mentoring a brilliant lady to her first head of position. Previous to that, I was living my best life in the US, heading up the US section of Moneypenny, which was brilliant, embedding the culture and setting in place operational changes. But I will totally and utterly blame Sandra and the WLA for getting me over there, because it was my time at the WLA that's really unlocked some of that bravery to do things out of my comfort zone. And I've been a member of the WLA for probably nearly 5 years. So that support and that mentorship has really, helped change my career direction, which has been brilliant.
I'll never forget Mel phoning me, didn't you? You said you'd left your sort of corporate life of like 20 years or something, hadn't you? And then moved to a quite young dynamic company in a great role. And then you rang me and said, "Oh, you never guess what?" I said, "What?" He said, I put my hand up to an opportunity. I heard your voice and I felt my hand go up. I said, "What's the opportunity?" And you said it's to be vice president of the US operation, heading up whatever the Moneypenny are doing out there.
Yeah.
And I put my hand up and they've said yes. I was like absolutely over the moon. And you had some experiences out there, didn't you?
I
you
did.
did a blog for us, didn't you, while you were there, telling us about.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, I won't share some of that. We can find out about that another time. But there was some really interesting things you had to deal with that you never dealt with before. It was phenomenal, actually. Yeah, definitely. So no, brilliant. Thanks, Mel. And Paula.
Hi, so my name is Paula Chadwick, and I have the honour and privilege of being the Chief Executive of the Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation, which is the only UK charity totally dedicated to lung cancer. So we fund research into the early detection of lung cancer, as well as offering advice, support and information to lung cancer patients right across the UK. We have a very strong mission, and I am on a mission to deliver that, and that is to have a world where no one dies of lung cancer, and that is my mission. I've been a member of the WLA right from the start in the little Chinese restaurant in Manchester. And yeah, Sandra has created a monster in me. I was from a HR background, so public speaking was not something I was used to doing, but now you can't shut me up. So any opportunity I have, I'm out there to spread the mission, to raise awareness and to save lives.
I'll never forget when we did a vision board exercise at one of our events, and Paula's she is an absolute inspiration. Everybody who comes across Paula, you cannot help but be infected by her enthusiasm and her values and what she is trying to do. And she loves the charity Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation. And I remember seeing on a vision board, right slap bang in the middle was a P45. And honestly, in my heart, I was like, oh my God, Paula. I said, what is this something you need to tell me? And you said, well, that's my mission. I want to do myself out of a job because our charity is no longer needed in the world. And I'm like, oh, wow. Didn't you? And that's who you are and what you stand for. You are amazing.
It is, yeah. I had to hide the P45 from staff because I think they thought that it was going to be a maths exercise. Everybody's getting the P45, so to explain. No, it's not. Well, it is in a way because we no longer need it anymore, but yeah.
So no, I love that about you. So where should we start with the WLA then? What can we tell you about what we do? Maybe we'll talk about what, I suppose I'll firstly say why I set it up and what my aspirations were, and then perhaps I can ask you guys to share some of the benefits you've had of being a part of the community. So as Paula said, I set it up in 2015. I was charged by a group of kind of coaches at the time to say, get yourself a movement for change, woman. You're really passionate about changing lives. And I'll never forget thinking, well, I'm not a politician. I don't know what a movement for change even means. But I thought, actually, I'm passionate about helping women. I work with men as well as women, but passionate about helping women. Too many women hold themselves back. Too many women wait to be asked. Too many women haven't got the confidence in them to step forward, or too many women stay in their technical space, and we don't enable more women to become the great leaders that they've got inside them. So I decided to set up the WLA with three intentions. One was about how do we help women become the authentic feminine leader that they are? Because again, women tend to be particularly driven by delivering results and focusing on what they're doing, as opposed to who they are being and how do they show up. And we take on too many traits that aren't who we are. And for me, the feminine is all about collaboration, connection, meaning, purpose, values led, connecting with people. And I think that's what we've created really well in our community. So that was one. Secondly, I did want to create a network, and most women go, oh, I hate bloody network, and it's horrible. And it's that horrible kind of sense of exchanging cards with one another and doing and men bashing, and we don't do any of that. This is about how do we create connections. So an example would be with Paula's always doing all sorts of things, and she does an annual Strictly Come Dancing thing, which for some unknown reason to me I found myself signing up for, and I am doing the tango and raising money for Paula, and it's happening this Saturday, and it's non-dancers, and the lovely Vicky Jones is on the call, also stepped forward to do, and she's going to be taking part as well on Saturday. So I think that sort of that idea of but we are the community is phenomenal in terms of support for one another, in terms of how we reach out and help one another, and it's fabulous, really. But we only have nice girls in our club, by the way. That's one of our kind of things. And the third thing is many women want to give back, I found, and I'm not saying men don't, but there's a lot of women feel that they what else can I do to support the younger generation? So we've done things like the mentoring program, and of course being involved in something like the Coachathon as well is brilliant. But that was the intention, and we've kind of grown from there. So would you like to share maybe your experiences? I don't know if you've got a particular experience that you want to share, whether it's around some of the events we've done, or the community, or the tools and stuff that we have. I don't mind which, but we'll go backwards this time. So we'll start with Paula.
Okay, yeah. So I think for me, because I've been with the charity over 26 years, so quite a long time, and so I was promoted into the role as CEO. And I think for me, it was quite a challenge. In one day I walked out of the office and I was a member of the senior leaders team, and the next day I walked in and everybody was like, oh, well, you're the CEO, you've got all the answers. And I was like, whoa, what happened there? I've slept a few years. And so it was quite a challenge, I think, when you're stepping up into a role within an organisation, and it was quite lonely as well, being a CEO, because suddenly I couldn't show my fears or what I was worried about, because everybody was looking for me to steady the ship and take us forward, so I couldn't start falling apart. So I was looking for something that would help me, but not something that would be just telling great stories. And they're very inspirational. You know, I did attend a few networking places where it was just telling us really great stories, and they were fantastic. But I was like, well, that's amazing, but how did you get to do that? So where is the tools, and where is the direction of how I get there? And that's what the WL provides, you know, as well as amazing conferences and amazing networking events. It also gives you the tools there. It tells you this is how you do it. And the other thing for me, which was amazing, it is a safe environment. It's such a lovely community that I felt that I could unburden myself. I felt comfortable and able to say, do you know what, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here, and you know, somebody help me. And they were all there to prop you up and hold you up, and no question was stupid, and the support was there. And what I love more is I have grown so much in confidence. It's unbelievable. I know people won't believe that now and think, oh my gosh, she couldn't possibly be quite shy. But I remember the first time I went to the network and I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to be like these women. What am I going to do? But you can, and it's that support mechanism. And what I love more so now is giving back, as Sandra said. Do you know what? It's great to receive and get that boost, but you know what's fantastic is giving that experience back and helping the people who are coming through to do that. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing somebody you give a bit of advice to really shine and step into the light. That's amazing feeling, and for me, that's what this community is all about. See, I told you, don't let me start because I don't shut up.
Thank you. Mel, to you.
Do you know what? To echo a lot of what Paula says, I think it's unlocking the art of the possible, because I think the resources and the longevity of the resources, it isn't just that here's here's a how-to guide, or here's a one-day workshop. It's the longevity that takes you through building that confidence, building those tools, connecting you with the right people, that you do believe the art of the possible, because you see amazing ladies like Paula and Charlotte shining. And as Paula says, being able to say, I'll never be like that, but actually going on the journey and being able to, and I'd use the boot camp as an example, the boot camp, which was a very intense 2 weeks, which gave you all the resources and as much as you wanted to get involved with, everything from questioning what your values were, to what your elevator pitch was, to what you wanted to do, but also that support through it all, to not just here's the guide, but here, let me hold your hand and see you fly, using those resources. So for me, it's been a real enabler for change, and that longevity of the resources is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. And Charlotte, our most recent member, well, not our most recent, but most recent on the panel.
Yeah, thanks. For me, I spent so many years, I think, and I don't know where it comes from, upbringing, just the way you are, what it is, just feeling like independence is a really, really powerful thing, and feeling like you have to do something, you know, all by yourself to win. And also that kind of element of perfection, right? So you want to be perfect at your job and have a perfect family and have a perfect house and have a perfect body and a perfect this and all of this stuff. And I've spent so many years, I think, thinking I have to do that myself. It's me, and I've never let anybody really in to help, you know, so much, very, very, very independent. But a few things kind of cropped up and things were a bit kind of difficult, I think, and so I kind of took that leap of faith. I think it is a leap of faith joining something like the WLA, to say you kind of open yourself up to be a bit vulnerable, to open up some of the things which, you know, you need some support on. But I think that why I've stuck with it and connected with it and you know, love it so much is that actually it is really kind of respectful and trusting environment culture that's created in the group. So you do feel you're able to do that, and the biggest thing you realize is that everybody else feels the same, right? You're not alone, you're not the only one, and it's and And you look at some people who think, oh my God, they're amazing. I wish I could be like that. And they are, but underneath we're all feeling the same emotions, the same challenges, the same things. And when you suddenly start to realize that, it's a bit of a game changer. You suddenly then realize, you know, you're not alone. You can do more things together. So
oh, sorry, I was going to very rudely interrupt then.
That's fine.
Just to say, I think Charlotte is so right. And I think and I would say as well, almost the fact that we've done more online has opened us up to that kind of ongoing conversations and support and being vulnerable on the back of what everybody's experienced, but having all those the conversations and the leverage that we've got because we've connected with people so much. I think for me, that's, you know, Charlotte used the phrase game changer. It is a game changer because you've got this trusted community that you can just at times offload. And you know that everybody's got your back. There's a real champion challenger environment there, which I think is really powerful.
We talk a lot, don't we, about the challenges that women face. And, you know, obviously when we sort of project ourselves and think about these women in Africa who have just got it 100 million times worse than we ever have, and we really do need to be grateful for everything we've got, but there's still this underlying thing of kind of, you know, who you know, I couldn't possibly, and actually what we really want to do is say, of course you can, you know, you have to break the old thinking and you have to think about what's possible. Just take something like this WLA Coachathon, which was just a seed of an idea, and I have coaches and I have people around me and the WLA community who inspire me every day, and I was able to take the idea and make it happen, and then we're starting to really make change happen in the world, and that's what I love again about what we do. So yeah, we have to help women because they are suffering from imposter syndrome, they have low confidence and low self-love, they have this feeling that, you know, tiara syndrome, someone will come and look out for me, they have this, I can't do every single aspect of that job so I won't even apply. I have one member who will always remain nameless, who will and she doesn't mind me sharing this story because it's a shocker, that when she was invited and offered a senior role as a director, she negotiated the salary down. Oh my God, because she didn't think she was worth it. Now that is like, oh my God, and it happens such a lot with women. We just don't step into the space we are. And I believe that for me, part of my big driver is that we've got to blend the masculine and feminine. And there's a lot of organisations that are very male-led, and that's fine because they've delivered great stuff. But if we can bring some of this feminine energy, some of this kind of more compassion perhaps and more care, and blend that two together, the impact is going to be twice as much. And we know that from the research that gender balanced boards, etc., create greater impact in the world. So that's what I love, is that what we do with the women, what we try to do anyway, is get women to step up and be a better version of themselves, and to believe in themselves, and to want to go out and make a difference in the world. And I think we do that brilliantly well, because and that's again why I particularly wanted to tie in with the microloan, because helping women in Africa who have nothing at all and don't even know how to feed the family, to help them make something of their lives, it's the same as what we're trying to do out here, you know, and that's what I really love about the values that we share across the two. So I'm on a waffle now.
I think as well, one of the biggest things I felt, and it took me a while to get to it, is that for women as well, and men most probably, is feeling comfortable in the role that they get promoted to, and not thinking that it has to be society dictates this, as you're a CEO, so you have to be aggressive, you have to be financially astute, you have to be and it's like not trying to be that, just accepting that you are good enough. That's why you've been given that position, and the role doesn't define you, you define the role. So the role becomes who you want it to be, not the other way around. And that was like a moment for me, where I felt really comfortable. I'd stepped into this and it was like, well, I don't have to be like that, because that's not who I am, because I was really scared about losing my identity within this role, that I felt I had to become this different person. And that's something that, you know, Sandra and the WLA helped me come to terms with. And it is just about accepting that you are good enough because you've been promoted into that role. You do have the skills that you do, and you will make that role your own. It's your skill set and your abilities that have got you there. Don't try and change that. Be who you are.
That's so powerful. And I think that, oh, sorry, Sandra.
All I was going to say was that you define your role. I love that. Because again, we sort of think, what is expected of me? Well, you create the expectation based on the value you can bring to the organisation. Yeah, I love that. Mel, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's that authenticity, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's celebrating people's individuality and the authenticity, and keeping people, especially in my experience through the WLA, celebrating that people are who they are. And it goes in line with what, you know, not being defined by the role, but it's okay to be you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. But I think sometimes the career paths you take and the influences that you have try to almost strip that down, because we've all got expectations of what that looks like or what that role should deliver, or the piece of the jigsaw you play in that corporate environment. And the WLA for me has really helped me believe that I'm okay. You know, I can do these things sometimes, not all the time, but you know, I'm okay being me. And I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds such a simple thing, doesn't it? But it's such a complex thing in itself. So it's really strange. Just be yourself. It's an easy thing to say, right? But then when you're in that situation,
well, we have to be ourselves, Charlotte, but we also have to have an added edge, because you know there's no point if you're terrified of walking into a boardroom because of the people around the table, and I'm just going to be myself because myself is being terrified. That's not what we mean.
Yeah, that's not good.
We mean that we have to keep edging and keep growing, don't we? And thinking, right, how do I show up and own the fact that I've got these great gifts and this great talent and this great value to add, and I am going to walk in that room and own it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to become an aggressive old cow. It means I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be proud of who I am. And that's what we have to continually stretch as we all evolve and we shake off the layers. So we have to show up even more and even more. There's never any kind of program really. I was just thinking whether we bring it to life a bit with our conference. Can I do a little plug for our conference next year? So before I talk about what's going to happen on the day, because I will reveal some of our speakers because it's really exciting, but maybe a couple of you have been to our conference. Would you like to say what that's like? Because sometimes it can be a bit ethereal, this, can't it? And it's kind of what do we actually do?
Oh, shall I share? I went to the conference for the first time. That was my first link into the WLA, and I thought, oh, do you know, this is going to be a nice day out. It was a beautiful venue. I thought this would be lovely. There'll be some nice food. And I was quite blown away, because I did have a preconceived idea. It was a bit of a networking event. It's going to be a bit stuffy. It's going to be very formal. I won't know anybody. Nobody will talk. And I have to be honest, I was blown away when I walked in. It was like walking into, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, a social room, because people were chattering, there was noise, there was connections, there was laughter, but underneath that there was some really serious topics, but it was done in a really, and I'll use the word again, authentic way. And I went to that conference and learned about, you know, inspiring leaders, some real socially conscious elements as well, but came away thinking, I want to be part of that group.
We did, that was the year we did the Liverpool Philharmonic came, didn't they?
Yes. Oh, yes, they did. And they sang.
It sounds like we had the whole Philharmonic orchestra of 200 people. No, we had 2.
They were amazing.
But nonetheless, they played, didn't they? And they were, I think most of the room were in tears. It was unbelievable what they did. And they talked about being women in an orchestra, which is very male dominated, and the work Liverpool Phil are doing in the community. So again, a lovely connection. I love that one, actually. That was one of my highlights, definitely. Paula, you've been to a few.
Yeah, I have, and they're all different, but you know, everyone gets better and better, and you just think, oh gosh, how are you going to top it this time with speakers and whatever? But they're great. I mean, the workshops, the breakouts, I want to go on them all. Unfortunately, I can't. That's the only downside, I think. So I was thinking, oh, I don't know which one I want to go. But even in lockdown, I mean, the online one was just absolutely amazing. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. And it's like what Mel said, it's like coming in and it's you know, even, you know, I've been going a long time, so a lot of people you do know and you're like, hi, but even meeting new people, it's great. It's just such a friendly, it's not that stuffiness, as you said, Mel, it's really friendly. Come in, what do you do? What can we do to help you? It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's great. I love them. I love them.
The quality of the speakers is just, I think it's just so inspirational. I think last year, I've only done the virtual one last year, but two people who really stood out for me, I think we heard from, it was COVID, right, and we were locked down, we heard from Nikki Clark, was it, from the NHS? Oh my gosh. I mean, just at that time, but any time, just so inspirational to hear from her. And then you kind of get the other end of the spectrum. We heard from, I think, Tamsin in the US, and where she's got tattooed on her thigh, like what is it, something about outrageous joy or something like that, hasn't she? I mean, she just on another level, kind of
remind herself every time she goes to the loo, wasn't it? That's what she said. She wants to remind herself of who she needed to be. So she had these word tattoos. She was brilliant. Yeah. So we're doing another we do it every year around International Women's Day. We always do it before International Women's Day, so it's going to be on the 3rd of March 2022, and the theme this year is all around sustainable leadership, because again, we know the planet's in crisis, and for me that means leaders in business, leaders in organizations, we've got to start showing up in a different way, and we have to, what is the leadership of the future that's going to enable for survival at its purest sense. So that's the theme. We're still getting speakers, but I will reveal a couple to you. So the first one who's going to open the show is a lady called Sharon Thorne, who is the global chair of Deloitte. How amazing is that? Mm-hmm. And she is dead down to earth. And she said to me, you do know I have imposter syndrome, don't you? And I'm like, no way, you can't possibly, you know, someone as brilliant as you. So we have her. And we've also just bagged, and I'm really excited about this, a lady called Kate Richardson Walsh, who is going to be our inspirational speaker. And she was, because she's not now, the England hockey captain who got gold in Rio.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 or 3 others lined up. You can wait and hear who they are. So yeah, it's going to be another amazing day. So it's a full day, speakers, panels, workshops. We're going to announce our awards as well on that day. So we've got 6 awards, and it'd be great for nominations. So that's what we're up to. Right, I'm conscious of time. I'd like to keep them to about half an hour, these, if we can. So anybody got any questions before I ask our 3 panelists to kind of wrap up? Marlon, hello, lovely Marlon. Over to you. Would you like yes?
Hello, I have a question. Do you have the tickets on sale for the conference?
Not yet.
No, I kind of thought, because I've been rummaging the internet, but they are nowhere to be found.
They will be going on sale, and I think we might do a kind of wait list actually, but yeah, it will be a great event. We're still putting the webpage together, that's why it's not available just yet, but thank you. Hope you come in, Marlon.
Yeah, so do I, if I'm not in Malawi. That's the crux.
Okay, we'll let you be in Malawi if you have to. Good. Anybody else got any questions about anything really, about what we get up to, or about today's plan? 1 o'clock, we've got a fabulous, can't wait for this session at 1. It's all about philanthropy, giving back. We've got 3 or 4 amazing women talking all about the impact of investments and why we should all give and why it's such an important thing to do. So that's going to be a fabulous session as well. But yeah, anybody got any other questions? I'm just going to check the old chat box. And no questions from anybody. That's it. All right, probably time for lunch. Before that, any final comments from the very lovely Charlotte and Mel and Paula, and a big thank you for being here, obviously, and sharing your insights. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Good luck to you, Sandra, on Saturday for the Strictly, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Doing the tango, yeah, thank you.
Brilliant.
And I would just like to say, if you're not a member of the WLA, you should certainly check out and become a member of the WLA. Sandra is absolutely amazing, and yeah, so it would be well worth an investment. And as L'Oreal says, you're definitely worth it. So sign.
Yeah, like that.
Brilliant.
Fabulous. Thank you, Paula, and thanks everyone for being here. And I'll see you again, hopefully, around 1 o'clock. Oh, we've just had hello. You've just come up. We've got one. It's nice to have some men in the audience, by the way. And welcome, Jeremy. How nice to see you.
I was eating my lunch, Sandra, so that's why I kept my camera off. It was a really interesting conversation. Thanks for letting me join.
Oh, not at all. And I'm curious now what you had for lunch.
Oh, I had goat's cheese on brioche.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'm impressed. Sometimes I did that we had a call, didn't we, with who used to be on it, Bernice, and she'd have something like a leftover fried egg sandwich from the day before. It was hilarious. She was always eating really unhealthy food. But goat's cheese sounds lovely. Nice to meet you, Jeremy. Nice to meet everybody. And yeah, look forward to seeing you a bit later. Take care.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.